And that's our worst spot.
Okay. We're going to prime the roof.
Honey, what's happening today?
We're going to the bank.
Paying the man, we're getting our car. We're in our new Troopy. It's a big, emotional and exciting day. G'day everybody and welcome back to another episode with the Hunting Hippies, converting our 2001 FTE DI Turbo Troop Carrier into our dream home to travel Australia. In this episode, we're going to start a little bit of the camperization process. So we've started to take out the seats and we're still at Pierre's place and we've got a little bit of work to do here. And then when we can take the car back to our mate's property where we've been working on everything else, then we will start to put in our fit out and make it a bit more homey, which is really exciting for us.
Your nuts. You still need them.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, no children.
Okay, I'll swap you. Man, as you grow, they start, you know.
They get a bit loose, mate.
They get weak, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Doing some pre-gurney cleaning.
Just doing something.
This one, listen to him. So Pierre's instructions: wire brush, get in all the holes, and then broom, and we sweep out everything. She's looking a lot cleaner. All prepped up to gurney it out. Troopy is all gurneyed out and cleaned up. She looks pretty new, actually. Now we are done at Pierre's place for the day and ready to head home and put a fan in there and we'll dry it all out so we can start doing the next building process. So it's all moving along now, which is really exciting, and we're getting things going. Hopefully soon we can be mobile and be living out of our Troopy again. Well, it's day one of us camperizing the new car, so we have to do some pre-camperizing things. Andy's off to the shops.
Yeah, we just gotta, just where the old seats were, there's a little bit of surface rust, so we're just gonna hit that before we put a fit out over it so it doesn't get any worse, because with any luck we would never have to pull this fit out again, so we want to make sure of that. So we just got to get some rust converter and a bit of lanolin oil and some other bits and pieces, and then we'll chuck that in and we'll be away.
Yep, put some wiring in through where the side panels will go for future speakers that we're not doing just now, but
and the
yeah,
reversing camera that I never put in ever before.
Yeah, all these things you sort of got to think about before just putting your whole build inside there. So yeah, that's what we're up to.
And I got to call a dentist.
Are you going out your door? Wow. So we've taken out the seats at the front here. Make sure we get to any possible rust that we can find early on, because once we start doing this fit out, we're never ever going to get to it. Yeah, it's looking pretty intense. Not anything concerning.
Just needs to be dealt with.
Just needs to be dealt with.
We got plenty of rust converter, and we'll sand it back and we'll prime it over. It's definitely not at a point where it's structural, it's just surface rust, but the air conditioning drips a little bit behind the dash on the passenger side, so I think there's a hose disconnected somewhere or blocked behind the firewall, so we're just going to deal with that so that we don't continuously get more water and create more rust.
It's going to feel so good when all of this is cleaned up and it's just absolute clean slate.
Woken up this morning. Yesterday we sprayed Penetrol, which is a oil that sets hard like a clear coat all through the back. We've waited for that to set. We've woken up this morning and it hasn't completely set, but it's good enough. The show must go on. So now I'm just going and touching up any marks where there's been rubs and wear and then little bits of rust. So I'm just going over it with white Rust-Oleum. So just to seal it up a bit more. We just ran our cables from our alternator or our starting battery through to behind the seats, because that's where our second battery lives. We're running a full Enerdrive system, is the one from the old car, 200 amp hour lithium, 40 watt DC to DC and a 2200 watt inverter. So we get our power from our starting battery through to our DC and DC, which is through here. We just had to run those cables through the firewall and then down underneath the vinyl floor and up here. So as you can see, obviously they're not connected at the moment, but they go to the DC-DC. When all of this was installed, the fit out was actually in there, so it's a hell of a lot easier for me to do this now when the fit out's not yet in there, the drawers and the bed and whatnot.
So we've pretty much done all the preparation that we can do before putting in our fit out, and now Andy's ready to have a helping hand from Oscar to put that in. We've put in those cables and run some wire through here. There's the wire, just for future when we're ready to put a speaker in there. Exciting times, it's all coming together.
Come to your right a bit, straighten it up. You good? Push a bit. Yep. Okay. Wait up one, let me get. There we go. Okay.
Alright, darling, you're knocking that piece of wood.
He's alright. Alright, gentle. Oh, like it was made for it.
Beautiful, mate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's all coming back together. It's actually not taking as long as I thought.
Welcome to my carpeting station. So over here I'm just using contact glue on the carpet and some of the timber pieces that are the faces of our fit out when you open the back doors. So I've got one piece here, I've already done this piece, glued that on. I've got another piece here and the carpet to go with it, and this little piece here and that piece there. So contact glue, it's not the nicest thing to work with, but it's good stuff. So yeah, you apply that on there, and then put that together and clamp it down. And then when I'm done, I'll go around the edges and cut off the excess just to give it a nice finish. When we open up our back doors, what we'll see there is carpet. So that will look a bit nicer for our fit out and be a bit more comfortable too when we're cooking out the back.
I want to get right into it.
Happy I got my drawer back in.
Right, let's see. Oh, it's tripped. Better fix that, now it should work. So we're either going to start a fire or have an inverter. Oh, the latter. That's good. Nice. Happy about that. Beauty. We are running a Enerdrive 2000 watt inverter through, of course, a breaker panel, an Enerdrive 200 amp hour lithium. It looks like a bit of a rat's nest. Doesn't usually look like this. I've got to get all of the stuff back on. Yeah, we have a 200 watt Enerdrive, all fused to a block, and a negative bus bar, Victron smart controller for our solar, and then my DC to DC. Now I've just got to hook it up to the battery and we should be charging. Woo! Oh, we just got to fix a fridge up the Cape. Our fridge stopped deciding it wanted 12 volt power. It only wanted 240, so we had to plug it into a plug and run it off the inverter. So we ran it off this inverter for like weeks. I needed to work out how or why it's not running on 12 volt. I haven't actually looked at that problem. Right, so we've hooked this up. Don't actually know if this is the right one. We're going to find out in a second when I turn the car on and see if it charges through my DC-DC. The new car with this beautiful power plant has two batteries. It has a starting battery and a small deep cycle, only 60 amp hour, so this is just a bonus. We'll run a few interior lights off it only because they're already wired up. And so if we start the car now, we should find out. We have life from the DC-DC. So hypothetically, This should charge. We'll see. Have to wait until the starting battery is fully charged, and then it'll start charging this. Yeah, there we go. We're charging now at 20 amps. Usually I get about 35 amps, so I did from the last one. Beauty of running all Enerdrive system is that they have a really awesome app. I don't know if you guys can see that. So this connects on Bluetooth straight to the battery, and it tells me how much charge I have. So I'm on 99% because I haven't been using it. How many amps I'm charging at. So I'm currently putting in 35 amp hours, 36. So that's about the same. Awesome. And it tells me I'm charging and my voltage and heaps of other shit. So we got a little fridge going. I know this one's sweet. I've just got to work out on the big one what's happening, why it won't work. And we're getting places. Things are happening. So we had a win. Don't know why this fridge decided it didn't want to work, and now it does. So I just tested it and it's running.
Ooh, we got our fridge in.
Yeah, sort of. I'm just wiring it up. No judgment with my wiring. It's funny how you always run out of the exact size heat shrink that you need. You have every other conceivable colour, size, but not the one you need. Tidy it up, wire this in. Don't know what the problem there was. Like I said, we ran this fridge on 240 for ages, so it certainly gave the inverter a workout. But maybe there was some short on the old power lead. Actually pinched a new power from the battery because it was for something that I didn't need in this fit out. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but should, in theory, be all good. And we'll slot the fridge back in.
Wow. We've been going all day. 6:30. Getting our Sirocco fans installed.
Shout out to Vinny and Jayco Caravans for sponsoring us with some free fans. No, I'm kidding, we're not sponsored by Jayco at all. Damage return, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with them.
I've left Andy to his devices and he's cleaned up the workstation.
Organised chaos.
What have you done this morning?
Put in our rear lights for the kitchen, put my 2 Sirocco fans back in, wired them up.
And now it's time for some curtains to go back in. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Please let us know what you thought of the video and our rebuild progress in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button if you've enjoyed watching, and subscribe not to miss next week's final episode for the FTE Troopy rebuild.
The exhaust's in the way. There's a bit on the chassis that I'm not real happy about.
Tell the people what it's like to put on a rear bar.
Oh, it sucks. Not fun. Just over it.